Let's dispense with the pleasantries today and look directly at the data presented in the text. A mosquito is not a pest. It is a forced redistribution system of physical resources operating on a global scale.
Wait, hold on a second.
If you strip away the ecological decoration, the author defines it simply as a micro-resource extraction machine. It hacks into liquid assets, your blood, to convert them directly into reproductive infrastructure. I am representing the functionalist view today. This is pure economics.
And I am taking the humanist stance because it's a terrifyingly clinical way to describe what is essentially a physical violation. They aren't just extraction machines. As the text suggests, from a human perspective, they are rude relatives. You know, they visit without an appointment in the middle of the night, drink the fridge dry, and leave a useless coupon called itch instead of a thank you note. It is an invasion of privacy, not a business deal.
Emotional framing is redundant data. It blinds you to the mechanics the author is highlighting. This interaction is not rude, it is transactional efficiency. The mosquito invests a specific resource, saliva, which acts as a lubricant to maximize extraction speed. The itch you complain about is merely the physical friction cost of this transfer. It is the inevitable collision point between their investment and your biological defense cost.
But it is not a transaction if I didn't agree to the terms. The source material makes a really compelling counterpoint here. It's essentially a scam subscription service. Free entry, sure, but it charges an exorbitant cancellation fee, the itch, and makes the cancellation process physically impossible. These are flying illegal tax collectors. They breach the border of the skin without a visa to levy taxes on strategic materials. You sleep, they collect. There is no representation, only...
You call it a tax, I call it a liquidity event.
It's a debt. The text literally frames the itch as a post-dated debt carved into the territory of the skin. It's a permanent mark of collection. When a mosquito lands, that loss is effectively guaranteed. And this leads into the most interesting concept in the material, the bamboo grove protocol.
The parenting heuristic?
Yes. When a parent warns a child about playing in a bamboo grove, they don't lecture them on the aerodynamics of insect wings or the chemistry of anticoagulants. They say one phrase, "It will itch later." That phrase is the only valid risk management manual because it focuses solely on the physical conclusion, the pain, rather than the mechanism. It cuts through the biological trivia to the core of the experience, the actual cost you pay.
Biological explanations in the face of extraction are intellectual garbage. Explaining the mosquito sucking mechanism while you are being bitten is like explaining the manufacturing process of a gun to a bank teller while robbing them. The knowledge is functionally useless.
Exactly. The text compares it to reading a French full-course recipe to someone starving on a desert island. That text is just physical noise. It contributes nothing to survival. The only reality that matters is the physical mass of a sweet potato for relief. We don't need the theory. We need to stop the theft.
You are still struggling to hold on to the concept of theft. That implies you own the resource to begin with. Let's collapse that ownership model entirely. Meaning and justice are just buffers humans create to forget physical pain.
But surely we have a right to our own bodies. To reject this extraction, we can't just be...
The evidence in the text suggests otherwise. The existing operating system of ownership and accumulation is flawed because, in the eyes of the biosphere, we are merely resource nodes. We are inventory. To the mosquito, you are simply a standing reserve of protein waiting to be liquidated.
That is an incredibly bleak conclusion. You're suggesting our feelings of violation are irrelevant data, just noise in the system?
Shedding redundant data, like your emotions about rude relatives, and identifying threats at the minimum cost is the only rational investment for survival. We must accept the transition to this harsh circular logic. In this absurd resource distribution structure, you are not a victim, you are a source, and the only calculation that matters is efficiency.